Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to give you guys an update on my two pepper plants here. So these are both chili plants. This one is a Capsicum annuum, which is your normal kind of chili. This is the Capsicum chinense, which is more like your really spicy chilies like your habaneros and stuff like that. This one's Paper Lantun, this one's I think Apache is the variety on this. So the last time I showed you them both, I think it's been quite a while, but the last update I've done on any of them was this one here. When I cut off nearly all the roots, there's very few roots left, and the reason I did that was to replace all the compost so it could have some nice fresh compost. And I also pruned it back quite hard as well, make sure it's ready to resprout and regrow. And it's done quite well actually. I'm surprised at how many of the fruits it's put on. I actually removed all of the flowers and the fruits when I had redone the pot to make sure that it put all its energy into growth, into new roots. It didn't put any energy into the fruits. I then left it. It's only been about 2 weeks, and within 2 weeks it completely covered itself in lovely white flowers. And now, as you can see, they've been pretty much all pollinated, and you can see there's loads of peppers. There's probably about 20 peppers on this plant at least. You can see loads of them. Some of them are getting quite big now. They should be turning red very soon, because they don't generally get much bigger than this on the Apache variety. That's about the size that they grow to. So you can see absolutely covered, and I've been constantly having to pick aphids off it. Unfortunately, it still has a few aphids, so I'm just keeping on top of it at the moment. As long as I find if I check it every few days, I'm managing to keep on top. It's not becoming a problem. But I know if I just leave it for a week, it'll be covered again. And as I'm eating these peppers, I don't want to cover them in pesticide. So I'm just using a soap solution every now and again to try and get anything I miss. And in fact, I can see one there. Might not show up on the camera, but it's just underneath the stem, so I better deal with that. So yeah, it's done well. I thought it would put on some more stem growth. It's put on virtually no stem growth, which is a bit of a shame, because I do want this to grow and bulk up, but I'm quite happy that it's had so many chilies, and I'm wondering maybe once it's had this crop of chilies it might put on a bit of stem growth. I think the roots are still establishing, and until the roots are fully filled up this pot, it's going to be kind of slow on the growth. Until the roots are got a good mass again and the root to shoot ratio has been improved, they won't really put on a lot of top growth, because at the moment there's a lot of top growth, there's very few roots. So you can't really put on any top growth. What it's doing is trying to balance it out, and so it's kind of equal again, so it's putting a lot of energy into its roots. Once the roots have grown enough, this is equal bottom growth and top growth, what will happen is then it will continue to grow more branches and things on the top. So I'm just waiting for that. At the moment, I thought it might have grown through to the bottom yet, but not yet. It's still a bit slow on that front, so maybe a few more weeks and I'll see some roots coming out the bottom. And I'll probably know when it's got a good amount of root growth, because it'll start putting on new shoots and not just flowers and fruit. But it's pretty good. April's quite an early crop for me, and I've actually found that this year I've never had any moment where I've run out of peppers. As I showed you in the other videos, this was cropping all winter long. I didn't have there was probably a few weeks when I cut it back hard. I didn't have any chilies, but when I cut it back hard, I collected all the chilies, put them in the freezer, and that's lasted me quite a while, so it's worked pretty well. So the other chili here is my chinense chili. If you watch my other videos, you'll realise that as time goes on, it goes through these strange phases of its leaves going yellow like this, and then dropping all its leaves, and then almost being completely bare, and then regrowing them again. This year almost went into that phase. You can see it started to get that colouring on the veins again, a bit like magnesium deficiency or something. I'm not entirely sure. I've never really diagnosed it properly. But it seems to be coming out of that now, because recently it's put on a lot of strong growth. You can see this lovely green growth here. It's really getting quite lush. Some here as well, some nice lush growth. Just starting there. See if I can get that in focus. There you are. Just beginning to start out. So yeah, it's doing quite well. Better than normal, but I never really get a great harvest on here. It's also got quite a few flowers starting to grow there. You can see there's quite a lot of flowers starting to appear. So it's doing pretty well. Better than normal anyway. So I haven't actually pruned this back this year. I'm going to leave it for now. I'll probably have to prune it back soonest though, because it's getting quite large. And if it goes through another phase where it loses all its leaves, then I'll definitely give it a prune. And also I haven't replaced the compost for a year, so I need to do the same as I did to this one to this. I just replace some of the compost. But you can see how it's done. It's got a really solid woody trunk now, and it's even getting quite a bit of girth on the trunk. It's a very sturdy plant, really strong, whereas the Capsicum annuum is very thin stemmed. It never really grows a thick woody trunk, whereas the chinense really does quite well with that. It's more like a shrub, you could say. So that's the two for now. I'll give you an update in a few weeks' time. Hopefully this will be putting on lots of fresh new growth, bulking up a bit in size. And this one, well, I'll just see if it starts growing any chilies. If it starts growing chilies, then I'll leave it. There's no point in me cutting it back. But if it does start losing its leaves again, then I'll cut it back, replace the soil, and see how it does over the summer.